Hi everyone, and welcome to Tech 201. I'm really excited to start this course off this term, and I've been enjoying reading your introductions. I'd like to give you a brief overview of our first graded discussion, so if you're having any trouble getting started, you can watch this video and see exactly how you would go about creating your post. So I'm here in the M1D1 Limits and Continuity discussion. You can read through the instructions. Right here for the main post, we're going to make a piecewise function. So these are functions that kind of have multiple personalities. It's going to have one flavor, one type of personality for x less than 2, and a different flavor, a different type of function for x greater than or equal to 2. So it's going to have two different behaviors, so to speak. And that's going to depend on the letters in your name. So my name is Catherine Bliss, and so I'm going to be here, polynomial of degree greater than 2, and I'm going to use that for both parts of my function. If your name was, Bob Smith, then you would be on this first line with the polynomials, and for S for Smith, you would be looking at a natural log function. So we'll all have slightly different functions. Now, to create your piecewise function, we're going to use a free graphing utility called Desmos. And I've opened that in another tab on my screen here. So I'll click over there. And what we want to type in this box, you can type in anything like y equals x squared, and this is a wonderful graphing tool. Now we want to type in a piecewise function, and the code for doing that is found right here in our discussion prompt. So I'm going to copy paste that over to Desmos. Now notice when I copy paste, the curly brackets didn't come along with me, so I'll just type those in manually. Okay, that looks great. So this is the notation in Desmos for piecewise function. What this says is when x is less than 0, we're going to do the sine function, sine of 2x. So for x values less than 0 to the left side of 0, we're doing the sine function. Great. And then when x is greater than or equal to 0, we're going to do a function 2x plus 1/3. So that's a y-intercept of 1/3, slope of 2, linear function over there. All right. Okay, so for my problem, I'm going to choose something different. Our direction said to make the function for x less than 2 according to the letter in our name. So I'm looking at polynomials which are greater than degree 2. So I'm going to choose x cubed plus 1. And then for x greater than or equal to 2, I'm going to choose a different polynomial. I don't know, maybe something like negative 2x to the 5th plus 5. Okay, now I really can't see much on my graph. It's a little bit suspicious because things are falling off of the viewing window. So I'm going to use the zoom out button and try to find my function. And finally, I see it. It's way down there at the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to try to readjust this a little bit. One way to do that would be to click on this wrench over here. So maybe I want to choose a viewing window that goes x from -10 up through 50. So we'll go the x-axis, -10 up to 50. Okay, that's good. I can start to see more of the graph there. And maybe we'll go -100 to 100 or something like that, just to kind of center it a little bit. That looks reasonable. I can use my cursor and click and drag this thing around my screen, but I'm pretty happy with my graph at this point. At this point, I want to save a screenshot of my graph, and that's a little different depending on whether you're on a PC or a Mac. So I'll let you figure that part out. If you have questions, let me know. So I'm going to make a screenshot. I just did that. For me, I'm going to go to Paint because I'm on a PC. Okay, so you can save this anywhere on your computer. For me, I'm going to save it as M1D1 example. Now, let's go back to Canvas. If you go into our introductions form, you'll see these two buttons. You can expand expand and collapse the replies. And if I collapse the replies, you'll see all our names, but most posts start off good morning, good morning. And the reason why that is because that's the first line of that post. So if you notice, my post here starts off welcome from the instructor. That subject line is what shows up in collapsed view. And so it's really good to get in the habit of making subject lines so that when we get these math discussions going, we can see who made a polynomial and who made a trig function, things like that. All right, so let's go and create our post. My post has 2 polynomials. And I'm going to say, hi everyone, this is my sample. You can even take that subject line and make it bold. You could make it a color like blue or something like that to really emphasize it. Now, to insert the image, you can't just click embed image right away. What you need to do is you first need to upload the image. To upload the image, I'm going to go to my account and I'm going to open my profile in a new tab under Files. And I'm going to navigate to where I just saved that file. For me, it was in my Tech 201. And for me, I like to keep things organized, so I'm just going to put that down here in my Tech 201 folder. Now I can go back over to the other tab where I was working on this message. Since I've uploaded the image already, I can go to Embed Image, Canvas, My Files, and there was the file. And now the image appears right inside my post, which is really nice. It's really easy to read and things like that. Doesn't require anyone to open an attachment. Now there's a lot of questions we're supposed to answer about our piecewise function, so let's go back up and see what they ask us to do. It says you will define your piecewise function. We did that. Include a graph of it. We did that. And now we want to do the domain and range. Let's just copy paste this so that we answer all the pieces. Okay, so this function has domain, well, it looks like it's defined on all real numbers. The range is, well, let's see, what would be the range? If we look at our graph here, it goes down and down towards negative infinity. We get all those negative y values. We get infinitely many negative y values down to negative infinity. And then we scoot up here and we reach a maximum value, or it looks like we reach almost a maximum value. So what is that point? Let's see. When x was less than 2, we're following this cubic behavior. And so as we get very close to the value x equals 2, we're getting very close to the point 2 cubed plus 1. We can actually make this look a lot better. Instead of writing the word infinity, we can use the math editor right here. Click on that little square root sign and I can type in my parenthesis, and now I can look at all these different menus at the top. There's my infinity symbol, so I'll just type in negative infinity up to 9, insert equation, and that looks a lot better, so I'll just get rid of these words. Similarly, we could have done the same thing over here. Instead of 2 cubed plus 1, we can click on that equation and I can go 2 cubed plus 1 equals 9, and that looks really nice. Okay, and I'm going to say there's more to answer, but this gives you an idea of how to start.